Coming up, Democrats are getting more and more emotional and using increasingly unhinged arguments against DOGE. One Democrat is pushing hard for the American people to be censored, and Trump could be the most consequential president since Lincoln. Joe Rogan talks Elon Musk and DOGE.
Organization.
That's fucking amazing. And then this other thing about Elon. Elon's going to steal everybody's money. He has $400 billion. I'm telling you, he's not going to steal your money. I'm telling you, that's not what he's doing. What he's doing is he's a super genius that's been fucked with. Okay? And when you've been fucked with by these nitwits that hide behind three-letter agencies, and you're dealing with one of the smartest people alive, and he helps Donald Trump get in office, and he goes, I want to find out what kind of corruption is really around. Well, you fucked up. You fucked up and picked the wrong psychopath on the spectrum, because he's gonna hunt you down. He's gonna find out what's going on, and that's good. That's good for everybody. That's how you should be looking at this. Like, wow, we have a brilliant mind that is examining these really fucking corrupt and goofy systems and bringing in a bunch of psychopath wizards.
Rogan sees DOGE led by Musk as a really good thing, with having people who are extremely intelligent doing an audit and finding all of the waste and corruption and abuse. Then we have Republican Representative Chip Roy on the Democrat legal obstruction of DOGE.
Yeah, Laura, great to be on. And first of all, the absurdity of the fact that these activist judges are stepping in and trying to tell the President of the United States, who's the chief executive of our government, that he can't have his designees or himself look at information, go down and look and make sure that Social Security numbers aren't duplicated, go try to expose all of the ridiculous programs that the American people send him to Washington to expose, tells you how corrupt and how, frankly, self-important judges think they are.
The simple fact is, the president is entitled to appoint people to do an audit. If Trump had hired conventional accountants to look at the books, I guess the Democrats would have thought that that was fine. What they're objecting to is this entirely new way of rooting out waste, corruption, and abuse. The issue isn't that they're looking for it or the process to the Democrats. What they are shouting and screaming about is that DOGE is managing to find their carefully hidden corruption so quickly and at such scale. That is the reason for the lawfare. And don't confuse things. The Democrats are genuinely panicked, hence the emotion, anger, and the overblown rhetoric. If you enjoy this sort of content, please like, share, and subscribe. Elon Musk then makes the obvious point.
The people voted for major government reform. There should be no doubt about that. That was on the campaign. The president spoke about that at every rally. The people voted for major government reform, and that's what the people are going to get. They're going to get what they voted for. And a lot of times, people that don't get what they voted for, but in this presidency, they are going to get what they voted for. And that's what democracy is all about.
The American people at the last election were in no doubt as to Trump's intentions. He made very clear in the election campaign precisely what he was going to do. The Democrats, stupidly, and because they don't follow through on election promises, hoped that Trump would also not follow through. And they were sadly mistaken. Just listen to how Representative Maxine Dexter behaves.
I've been told I have 30 seconds, so I am going to tell you that we do have to, I don't swear in public very well, but we have to fuck Trump.
And here was me thinking that Democrats were all about trying to prevent anyone having sex with Trump. And here we have Dexter exhorting all of the Democrats that they have to have sex with Trump. All kidding aside, this is the more and more virulent anti-Trump rhetoric that we are getting from the Democrats. They are terrified of what Trump will find and are also very depressed knowing that the entire woke state machinery that they've put in place over decades is coming crashing down. Then we have Scott Jennings on CNN.
So just restraining
Musk
orders.
doing this.
They're
He knows
asking
nothing
for
about it.
What you just said is so profound. You said these people don't know anything and they don't know what they're doing.
That's right.
But they're
people I'm talking
appointees.
about
But
Elon Musk.
I understand. But they are appointees of the duly elected president. So your view, you're here as our legal expert, but your view is because you don't personally believe they know enough that the duly elected president, who appointed a Treasury Secretary and who appoints special appointees like Elon Musk, shouldn't be able to act as the president because you don't personally believe they know enough?
Well, they
Is that how
certainly
it works?
no.
Or
yeah,
do
well,
elections mean anything to you?
Well, it's got nothing to do with elections.
Of course
the fact
it does.
of
He's
the-
doing
the fact of the
exactly what
matter
we
is
The truth was
there
told
is a
tonight,
law.
folks. The truth was told.
Hold on.
This is really funny. The fact is, elections have consequences. Something that this Democrat, former Assistant Special Watergate Prosecutor Nick Ackerman, doesn't want to accept. He doesn't think that elections should have consequences. He just believes that a president should go about doing things the way he deems, because he deems it fine. This is how unhinged the Democrats have become. Then we have Andy McCarthy on DOGE.
And whether they like it or not, they keep calling it the so-called DOGE as if it didn't exist. It actually is a component of the executive office of the president in the White House. It's a refinement of something that was begun under Obama. So this is a legitimate government entity, and they answer to the president, who runs the executive branch. So the idea that an executive official answerable to the president can't look at what's going on in executive agencies is pretty nutty, and I think that should fade away fast.
It really is amazing how many talking points the Democrats are trying to use. Now it is so-called DOGE. None of their talking points are sticking, and they have no coherency of message. And then we have Anderson Cooper and Chris Sununu on CNN.
$59 million spent on luxury hotels. It's actually not.
You're talking about the FEMA money that was abused for migrants?
Yeah.
FEMA money for migrants? That's okay now?
No, I'm not saying it's okay. I'm not saying it's okay. Don't put words in my mouth.
So would you stop that? Would you stop that process?
Don't be a dick. The portrayal. What I'm saying is the portrayal by him is just not factually accurate. He's talking about luxury hotels. I'm not a big. Look, I was in Hurricane Katrina. I saw what FEMA does.
Here, we are starting to see the real Democrats coming out. They are frustrated. Their message is not getting any traction. So much so, you get Anderson Cooper acting like a child in the schoolyard. The fact is, the message of the Republicans is holding sway, and the Democrats hate it, and their true nature is starting to come out. No more mealy-mouthed, we are so ethical and moral behaviour. Not anymore. Now it is pure, unadulterated nastiness. Look at Congressman Garcia on the DOGE committee.
Well, thank you. Thank you to all of our witnesses for being here. And I want to just start off by making something clear. I think we're all here to fight against the lies, the corruptions, and the attacks on our social safety net. Now, we should in no way be cooperating with House Republicans who want to shut down the Department of Education and destroy Medicare and Medicaid. And we should not stand by as the richest man on the planet gives himself and his companies huge tax cuts while the American people get absolutely nothing. Now, I find it ironic, of course, that our chairwoman, Congresswoman Green, is in charge of running this committee. Now, in the last Congress, Chairwoman Green literally showed a dick pic in our oversight congressional hearing, so I thought I'd bring one as well. Now, this, of course, we know is President Elon Musk. He's also the world's richest man.
So many pathetic talking points. So he doesn't want to cooperate in any way at all with House of Representative Republicans. He then misrepresents what the Republicans actually want to do. the Democrats also clearly don't believe in people getting ahead and doing well. They believe in pulling people down, as can be seen by the constant refrain from Democrats about the richest man in the world, as if that is something disgraceful, as opposed to something that should be applauded. Jealousy doesn't become them. There is also the tired President Musk meme that is also getting zero traction. Americans want what Trump and Musk are doing with DOGE. And we get more of the truth of what the Democrats want in truth.
Look, let me tell you something. I'll take a bit of umbrage here. I'll speak on behalf of my colleagues. I think I can say we are all willing to work with anyone who's serious about doing the work of censoring the American people and advancing progress. But they are not serious.
I really don't need to add to Presley's statement, other than to say that the Democrats have, for decades, been censorious. But here, like with the time that John Kerry complained about the First Amendment, we see the truth about what the Democrats really want. You are not to be allowed to express an opinion that is not pre-approved by the DNC. Then we have Mark Halperin about Maha.
This is another one that's confusing. You would think that anyone, and particularly the party that is interested in using government to produce better health outcomes, you'd think they'd be on board for this. I don't know if they're angry that Bobby Kennedy left the Democratic Party, if they don't like something just because it's associated with Donald Trump. But you hear very few Democrats even grudgingly embrace the notion of using this administration to make our kids, allow our kids to be healthier, to make our food healthier. It's another example of Democrats really not feeling comfortable being for anything just because Donald Trump's for it.
The Democrats have gone on for decades about how they are the champions of health. And now, again, the truth comes out. They aren't really concerned about your health. It was simple political weaponization of an issue. Their agenda is laid bare. They're just against anything that Trump is for. Then we have Newt Gingrich on Trump's agenda.
Look, I mean, you have to accept that there was a lobbyist bureaucratic empire, that empire took your money, gave it to its friends, even if they were totally incompetent, and then you'll find case after case where your money went out to systems that just don't work. That's crazy. And at that time, they were taking care of themselves. What makes President Trump potentially the most consequential president since Abraham Lincoln is the fact that he's taking a sledgehammer and he is pounding the establishment in a way that no one has since Franklin Roosevelt created it in the 1930s. He's the first person, and I'm a great fan of Ronald Reagan. Reagan defeated the Soviet Empire, but he didn't try to take on the American establishment. Trump has had the guts to go straight at it, and I think the American people are going to be with him even more so when they learn how really sickeningly bad it is.
Gingrich states that Trump is probably the most consequential president since Lincoln. I was just speaking to my wife about this the other day. We have seen a sea change in the West in terms of social norms and behaviour. DEI is almost dead. ESG no doubt will follow. Woke is dead, as are pronouns and a multiplicity of genders. Hopefully, and there are signs of this happening apart from among the Democrat diehards, the nation will heal and come together. The Democrat business of divide and conquer, setting groups against each other and even inventing groups to push grievance upon, will die, and people can be seen as the individuals that they are. After all, that is the ironic conclusion of identity and intersectional politics. Create enough groups and intersections, and you're left with what should have been the focus all along, individuals. But what do you think of the way that Democrats are coming out in so many different directions? Please let me know in the comments below, and thanks for watching.